What's going on, YouTube? Zero Lead here, and I'm back again with a new video. Episode 75, the Disco Era u.s.s Enterprise tutorial. I just want to thank you very much for tuning into today's video, and if you haven't, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button helping me in supporting the channel. I can't thank you enough for that. And today we got about a 40-minute video. We're going to be focusing on the Constitution class Arboretum, and I was able to find a couple of pictures here that we're going to use as references. This is going to be the main one. This is what it looked like on the TOS Enterprise. Not a lot of pictures I was able to find, just really those two. This is what the Arboretum looked like on the Constitution class refit, and that's a little bit closer to what I have on my Enterprise A. And then just to give you a comparison, this is what it looks like on the Enterprise D, I believe. But the main one that we're going to be using as a reference is this one. It looks pretty cool, and it definitely has a retro look to it, so that's what we're going to go with. And if you need to get your own screenshot of that, just go on Google and just search TOS Enterprise Arboretum, and that should come right up for you. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into it. We're up in the top of our saucer section on Deck 7 at the top of our turbo lift, and we're going to go down our main corridor to the inner circle corridor and go left. As soon as we get to the middle, we're going to take another left. And now I'm going to count out. So should be 6 on each side. The 3 in the middle we're going to take out. This is going to be our doorway. So this way it's directly in the middle. We're going to take off these extra blocks because we don't need that now. Oh, I deleted an extra one. Let's fix that real quick, and then we'll take off this side. And then we're going to build out our doorway, and we're going to jump right into this thing. Kind of a long video today, about 40 minutes, but I didn't want to break this up into 2 episodes. I'm really trying to knock out this the remainder of this tutorial series as fast as I possibly can without substituting quality. And I think this is more than likely probably going to be the longest episode that I have for the rest of the series. But bear in mind, there's a slight chance that things could always change, but that's kind of what it's looking at as of right now. I don't really foresee it going out anything past episode 80. Might maybe make it to 81, 82, but I think we're going to wrap it up after that because we just don't have that much left to do. After we get done with this room, we have to do the conference room, captain's quarters, captain's quarters, conference room, and then junior officers' quarters, and then we have to do the Gymnasium, and then I know I'm going to do a science lab. I forgot to mention that in the last episode, but after that, I think we're going to call it a day, and I might add in a couple of extra rooms to double. I might add a second admiral's quarters. I might add a second and third junior officers' quarters. I'll show you guys where you can add that. But other than that, I think this is I think we're almost about done with the Enterprise. I don't think there's too much that we can add at this point. That we really need to, other than the stuff that I've listed. But if there's anything else you'd like to see me add on this Enterprise, be sure to drop a comment below, especially while I'm still working on it, because after I'm done with this ship, I'm going to be moving on to other stuff. I do want to announce today that you can expect the first episode of the Enterprise D mock tutorial to come out on Monday. Or not Monday, on Tuesday, excuse me. It's going to come out this coming Tuesday. So keep an eye out for that. It's going to be, I think it's only going to be a 3-part series, and I'm going to be having that releasing weekly. And that'll be going, releasing side by side with the remainder of my Disco Enterprise episodes. Once I'm done with that, and we've done the showcase, I'm going to move right into the Cerritos. Once we're done with the Cerritos, doing the full-scale tutorial, then I'm going to go into the Enterprise D full-scale tutorial. And who knows what I can do after that. I've had a lot of requests of stuff that people want me to do. I've had some people asking me for the Enterprise E. I've had some people asking for Voyager. Even had some people asking me about Enterprise B. I've even asked people, had some people ask me lately about going back and doing some of my other builds that I've already done, doing full scale tutorials for them, and that could be something that I might do down the line. But I think for right now, I want to focus on trying to do ships that I haven't actually built before, and I want to broad out just a little bit if I can. And showcase, some of the other ships that I can build too. I don't want to just be known for building the Enterprise. I would like to build other ships. I've also talked about that I would love to build Captain Riker's Titan. I think that would be a really fun build to do. So that's definitely on my list. I mean, I really want to get into the TNG era of building ships, but those ships are going to be hard because, I mean, when you think about it, Kirk's era, I mean, it's kind of easy because most of the ships are tubular in shape. So it's not that hard to do them. But when I did the mock tutorial, the Enterprise D, that thing was a challenge in itself. But I think by the time, I was done with it, I was pretty happy with it, and I think everybody will be too. It's just gonna be one of those things doing it at a smaller scale. There's only gonna be so much detail that we can get out of it, but the benefit of doing a ship first at that size is that it kinda gets you, um gives you an idea of what you're gonna be getting yourself into, and maybe some of the problems that you might have on a larger scale. And for me, my main issue when I was working on the Enterprise D, the mock, was the neck, and that took a little bit of trial and error to get it where I wanted it to be. But I think I came up with a pattern that I'm going to be able to adapt to a full scale one, and I think the pattern will actually look perfect on the full scale one. When it's scaled down, it doesn't look that good because it's only a fraction of the size that it should be. But when we make the full scale one, it's going to be freaking awesome. And I'm actually really excited to get into that build because that's probably going to be one of the hardest ships I've ever built on Minecraft. But I'm still pretty excited for it, and I've been having a ton of people ask me for the Enterprise D, so hopefully everybody will be excited to see that tutorial, as well as the Cerritos. That's going to be a very fun ship to build, and I know I've had a couple people asking me if I'm going to have any sneak peeks on that. I don't have anything just yet, but we'll see what happens over the course of this weekend and next weekend, and go over the course of the week. I'm going to be on Minecraft quite a bit, trying not only to wrap up the rest of the Disco Enterprise, but then after that, of course, to get into Cerritos. Because the Enterprise D mock tutorial I've already completed it. It's already done. The only thing I've even already edited it. The only thing I actually have to do at this point is just get on and do the uh, audio for it, and then I can start releasing them. But you should see that popping up, the premiere um, link for it on Saturday, and everybody will be able to access it starting Tuesday. Because that's something I want to start doing too as I start doing these future tutorials. When I have a couple of these more popular episodes coming up, I'm going to start premiering them, hopefully to get some more eyes on them, because uh, I've only been really doing the YouTube channel consistently again since July, and I know that a couple of people that were following me before have either taken a break or moved on to other things. Hopefully, they'll come and check me out again, because as you can see, I'm putting videos out fairly consistently. Um, I did drop the ball this week on Starship Evo, but that's only because I've been so busy on Minecraft this week trying to get the Disco Enterprise completed, and then I was trying to get the Enterprise D mock tutorial done. And I just didn't want to put up a crap video just for the sake of having a video. If I did a video, I wanted to have something worth showing everybody. Um, but I'm also going to make a point to get on there this weekend to start working on something to hopefully have something, regardless, to show everybody on Monday on that video. But getting back in this tutorial a little bit, you can see that we've got the base of our room set up, and now I'm kind of like filling in the roof or the ceiling here with blue concrete. The idea behind this was that I wanted to give it kind of like a sky look, to make you feel like maybe you're on a planet somewhere. But as I filled this in all the way, I don't know, it didn't look right to me. So I'm gonna end up taking this out. So if you want to just skip this part with the blue in the roof for now, go for it, because otherwise you're just gonna have to go back and take it out. Because I think it was a good idea. I don't know, it looks odd to me. Now we're going to build up the yellow pillars that are in the center of the room, just like in the picture. And again, it's not going to be a super big room. This is going to be a little bit compact, because a Constitution class Enterprise, again, it's based off of a submarine's interior. So we're not looking at a ton of room really to work with here. So we wanted, even though we have some wiggle room to work with on our interior, we still want to build this thing conservatively and like we don't have a lot of room, because then it's going to be one of the layers in helping you sell this, that it's not only the Constitution class, but give a little bit more sense of realism. But also, as I'm adding more stuff and finishing this off, having those little bits of room here and there is where I'm going to be able to fit like some of the extra bedrooms or corridors, or not corridors, quarters I wanted to add for junior officers' quarters and whatnot. Um, the biggest room that we're going to be adding is the gymnasium, and that's going to be taking up nearly a whole section. But there's just no way around it because the size of it. We're going to have to make it kind of big, or as big as I can make it. But I found some pretty good screenshots that I can use, because when I looked up online for pictures of the TOS gymnasium, like I was only able to find like two pictures of it, and it really didn't give you a sense of what the room looked like. But within that link, I think it was like on the Star Trek wiki or something like that, and they had a list, or they had a bunch of pictures up of Federation gymnasiums, and it was like Federation class gymnasiums. And the one that I took a screenshot of, like it was pretty close, like it had like a real retro feel to it. Looked like it was like a TOS era gym. So I figured, you know what, I'll just use this as a gymnasium and call it a day. But we'll get to that. I think that's definitely, it's gonna be one of next week's episodes. But um, after that, I mean, we've only got a couple of things left here to do, and then we're gonna be done before you know it. Yeah, it really doesn't feel like this has been a 2-month process to get this ship built from beginning to end, but that's kind of what it's taken. But I'm very proud of what I've been able to accomplish here. I think I'm the only person on YouTube right now that has a full-scale enterprise tutorial built in real time from beginning to end. I think everybody else, I think I've only seen really one person uh, that did a tutorial, and it was like a speed build. Um, and that's great that they put it up, but that was before even when I was building my enterprise. I think it was kind of recently that I saw it. But still, I'm not a huge fan of the speed builds. I think it's just kind of like, well, I'm not even going to say what it is. I don't want to judge it, but let's just say it's not my cup of tea. I like to build within real time, so this way I have also a chance to talk about what I'm working on here. So you can see, I do want to take this opportunity to hop back in a little bit what I got going on here. So I'm kind of like working on these shelves here in the corner. And that's because like I'm going to have like pots, or we're going to have plants in each of the corners, just like we had in the picture. Now, obviously, we won't really be able to make an oval shape in Minecraft in every single corner like it was in the picture. But we can make an L shape, and that's about as close as we can get it to. And then we'll just have to call it a day after that. I'm cutting out a little bit of this back wall here, is I think that I'm gonna do like a shelf here with like glass, and I think that'll look pretty cool, kind of like what we did in the admiral's quarters, because that was something that this room definitely had. Like the whole back wall was basically it was basically one giant purple window, or purple glass stained window. One thing I will need to do is in the ceiling, I'm gonna have to put some sea lanterns down just to make this pop a little bit more. And for these walls that we're putting up here, you could, if you want to use the darker gray to make them stick out a little bit more, you definitely could. Um, that's how we did it in the admiral's quarters, and it may be the best to do that for this room too. I'd actually built this room before I did the admiral's quarters, but when I was going through the editing process, I just decided to put that one up first before I did this one. Um, but that's again where I got that design idea from. So now we're gonna put in some grass here. This middle part, obviously there's gonna be plants here. I'm taking out these outer blocks. I think we're gonna put them back because my plan was to have half slabs there going around it. But I don't know if that's gonna look right with just the half slabs. But you know what? Let's throw them down. Let's see what they look like. If it looks bad, we can always, add a layer to it. I know that these extra slabs that I'm adding right here, I don't like that one bit. It just stands out like a sore thumb. I'm not feeling it. I don't think I'm feeling that either. I want these yellow pillars to come down all the way. Because you can see kind of what I was going for here. Like with the blue, that was like the sky, and then the yellow thing in the middle would kind of like stand in for the sun. But it just, I don't know what it is. It's not giving me the look that I really want. It almost feels like a doomsday room or something like that you'd go into, like if you're trying to survive the apocalypse or something, you need to be reminded that the sun's there. And granted, you could make the argument, oh well, you're on a starship, they haven't seen the sky in a while, which is honestly why I did it. But I don't know, it just kind of has like this doomsday feel to it, and I'm not feeling that at all. I really want to try to keep this, just a retro feel. And I think, just making this ceiling, the switching it to the white concrete is just the way to go. I mean, if you do like the blue, go for it and leave it. I don't think anybody will have a problem with it because, again, one of the benefits to not having a full set in stone blueprint is that you can take liberties with this thing. So why not? Have some fun, get creative, do whatever you want to do. This is just an idea to hopefully inspire you. If you can't think of anything, feel free to, build this out. And this is why I'm building out this tutorial for everyone, just to give out the information. Because, I mean, especially like when I started in Minecraft building ships, like at this point, like 10 years ago, there were no tutorials online how to build an enterprise. And the people that claimed to have one, like you'd click on it and like their video would just be them whizzing around their ship talking about a bunch of stupid stuff that had nothing to do related to the actual tutorial. So that's like, something I just wanted to avoid. And I've really have just tried to put myself in everyone else's shoes if they're starting out for the first time. But even then, like, even if like you're a skilled builder, like there's going to be times where you might need help. I've had a few people that I've met on Minecraft that have helped me out here and there to do different things. Like with the automatic doors that I have in my enterprise, somebody in Minecraft showed me how to do that. Even the running lights that I have, like in my shuttle bay on my Enterprise A, someone else showed me how to do that as well. Because that is something that I am somewhat, well, not somewhat, that I am guilty of on here. That I really haven't spent a whole lot of time recently on survival on this game. Pretty much when I get on Minecraft at this point, I get on creative, and I'm doing exactly what you see now. I build ships, or I build something nerd related. I haven't really got on survival since I started playing this game when it first came out. Because I don't know, that's something I've always enjoyed ever since I was a little kid. Honestly, I always like building stuff. Like I started with Legos, and then I kind of either fell out of it, or my parents stopped getting it for me. I forget which one, but then Roller Coaster Tycoon came out, and The Sims came out, and then that reignited my building itch. and it has just been like full force ever since then. And like any game that has building involved, like if it's a good mechanic, like it's pretty much almost a guarantee I'm probably gonna play it, at least try it out, you know. All right, so we tapered off our ceiling with half slabs going all the way around. I think that looks fantastic. Um, kind of looking at getting in some plants here to kind of fill in the room just a little bit more. And you can really put in whatever plants you want. I'm actually trying to go with like different. I end up going with like 3 different types of grass or 4 different types of grass, just because like my idea behind it was like, well, you know, it's not just going to be humans that come into this room. It's going to be all sorts of, you know, different species. So it would be a good idea to have different types of plants and different types of grass to kind of convey, hey, you know, maybe this is an alien plant, an alien grass and whatnot. Or at least that was the idea behind it. I don't know if I exactly sell it all the way or not. You'll have to let me know how this looks when I post it. But the screenshot is what the finished build looks like. But if you are enjoying this tutorial today, please help me out by hitting that like button. And if you're new to my channel, hit that subscribe button because I've got a ton of content coming out. Got the Enterprise D mock tutorial coming coming next week on Tuesday. We've got the u.s.s. Cerritos from Star Trek Lower Decks coming as soon as I'm done with the Disco Era Enterprise tutorial. And then after the Cerritos, we're going to build a full-scale Enterprise D. And that's going to be in tutorial also. And I'm really looking forward to that because that's another ship I've never seen anybody do a tutorial for it. So this is going to be my biggest challenge yet. There might be a couple of times, there might be a few things that we have to adjust, but I'm pretty confident that I can build this ship, the Enterprise D, from the ground up. I'm very confident that I can build the Cerritos, and they're just going to be a ton of fun. So, I mean, it's definitely a great time to check out my channel. And if you have any friends that are into Minecraft, you know, definitely show my channel off to them. You know, I can't thank you enough for anybody that does that. Everybody that checks out my videos daily, likes them, comments them. I can't thank you enough for it, really, from the bottom of my heart, because that's honestly one of the things that gives me the motivation to keep on and doing these videos. Because, you know, I'll see sometimes like I'll put a video up here and there, like it might only get like 30 videos or 30 views, but now like I'm looking like at the beginning of the tutorial series, and at first, like the first, you know, 3 videos were only over 100. Now episode one's like approaching episode over almost 1,000 views, and like you can go up to episode 20 and they've all got at least 100 or more. So I just want to thank you very much for that, and all the love that I've gotten. You know, this is again for everybody that's supported me and asked me for a full-scale enterprise tutorial, because, you know, I definitely know how you feel. It's frustrating when you want to build something on here and it's just not coming out the way that you want. And my way isn't the best way to do it, but I think that over the last several years in building these ships, I think I've gotten a pretty good process, an idea of how to do them, you know, and hopefully this will help everybody that's looking for the information anyway, out in their quest to build an enterprise, or any Federation ship for that matter, because there's going to be a heck of a lot more stuff coming soon too. You see, now I'm just putting different plants down, just trying to get an idea of the patterns that I want to do here. I like those purple in the middle. I don't know about having like full fleshed out, excuse me, big plants, maybe just in the middle too, and then going around that, we'll do like a smaller, maybe, because I was looking at in the color in the wheel of where was it? There was like a light blue small flower. This one right here. That's what we need. The blue orchid. That thing looks awesome. I think that would really complement these purple flowers here. We put a couple of those going around here, kind of give it like an alien feel. You know what they kind of actually remind me of? I don't know if you've ever seen Star Trek: The Cage. It was a pilot for TOS, but they go down to this planet and they have these flowers there. They're like vibrating and they're almost like singing. They're like this blue. They have like this blue hue on them. They almost look like blue orchids. So that's when I saw those, I was like, oh my god, those are totally remind me of those. I was got to get those down because they'll kind of like, to me, it's totally like, all right, that's like a TOS flower right there. Even though it's not, I think it, definitely helps bring the room together. So I think we need a couple more planters when we first come in the room on the left and right, because I think what I want to do is have flower planters in all four corners of the room, and then of course one in the middle. So what we're going to do now is on the left and right side when we first walk in, we're going to literally just copy our planter design for the back two corners down to the T. So we're not doing anything new, just repeating what we did on the back wall. I think this will help bring the room together just a little bit more. Instead of when you walk in, you just have two empty walls there. Really, what we need in here is some light. What I am going to do before this episode is over is right above these planters, that three strips of those three blocks there. We're going to take those out and replace them with sea lanterns, and it's going to look so much better. Because then it's almost going to look, exactly like an overhead light, which is just what I was going for. And we're rocking. We've already gone through, can't believe we've already gone through 25 minutes. Still have about 14 minutes or so left in this episode. But this room was actually a user request, because I'll be the first one to admit, I have not seen every single episode from TOS. I've seen most of them, but the Shatner era, I mean, don't get me wrong, that is one of my favorite, that's what I grew up on, the movies. And when I got a little bit older, they had uh, the original Star Trek that would play on Sci-Fi, which was the Sci-Fi channel back then. But I haven't seen every single episode, which is why I'll ask sometimes, "Hey, if there's a room that I'm missing, let me know," because there's bound to be something somewhere that I'm missing. And it's always good to get people's feedback and try to get the community involved and feel like you all are helping me to build this with me, because really you are. And that's why I say that when anytime I'm building something, I say we. It's because we're building it together. Because I try to take everybody's feedback. If I feel it's something that I should add into the ship, I'll definitely do it. And there's been a ton of suggestions that I've gotten in the past that I've incorporated into the enterprise, because I'm not above taking constructive criticism where it's necessary. I think one of the things that's kind of setting this room off too is the black floor here. I think this is going to be the only room where we have white concrete for the floor, and this is just going to be a little bit more to match the picture. Um, this is the only room in the ship that actually has white floor, but it kind of looks better to me like this. I don't know. I might actually go back and switch it back to the darker color, um, just cause. I mean, I I'm very known to be from time to time a Gemini and go back on things here and there, but I think that the white looks pretty good. I'm going to try to keep that, but you never know. I might go back and swap it out. If I do, definitely do a video on it real quick, or tack it on with one of my other videos and let you know what I did. But we're starting to get to the tail end of this video. I've only got a couple of things left to do. Just getting a couple of last minute details in here. And we've also got to do some details to the walls here on the left and right side. Excuse me, on the left and right side. I'm just going to do a red line going straight across because I want to make sure that where I'm cutting out these blocks now, it matches what I have on both sides. I'm just trying to get a gauge here for how wide I want to make this thing. Almost feeling like I want to add 3 pillar high dark gray blocks on the sides to give it a little bit more definition. Make it stand out just a little bit more. One side's bigger than the other. I'm going to have to fix that. This side is way smaller than the left side. I'm trying to decide which one I like more. And that's something that you can do too when you're not set on something. Do it differently on the other side. And just pick, and that's a great way to compare the two and just look at them side by side and, try to decide which one you like more and then go with that one. All right, we're looking good. So now we're just doing the blocks going across the floor to get that stripe in. And then we're going to build out our back wall here and close this in. And I think what I'm ultimately going to do right here, because there's that red line there, I think we're going to swap out these blocks to red. Because otherwise it's going to look a little bit weird. And it might give it a little bit more of a retro look if we do that. I kind of dig that red in the background. So you know what? I think I'm going to do that, and we're just going to rock out the red for a while in the back and see how it, see how I feel about it. If you like it, let me know in the comments section. Drop a comment below. If you don't, hey, let me know that too. But I think this might work. Kind of gives it, that retro look to it. The red and green. It's not something that you'd necessarily think would go together unless it would be like Christmas time or something back in the 60s. So I think it suits it. The only thing I'm not doing is the very ceiling. I should be doing sea lanterns in there to make the stained glass pop a little bit more, but that's not something that I did until until it was in we were in the crew quarters. We're gonna add a couple of gray lines here going across each of the open points here in the middle, just to give a little bit of texture on the floor. I kind of want to move my sea lanterns around a little bit here. Going to get just a little bit dark for a moment, but that's only because we're going to be messing with the lighting here just a little bit. Because now with having the white concrete for the floor, we can't just be flat white. Otherwise, it's going to look like doo doo. So I think if we do this, if we kind of like taper off or uh, pinstripe the the floor line going around along the corners, I think it's going to look really good. Just need to get some lighting in the back. Now these sea lanterns that we put down, we're just going to cover them up with white carpet. You'll never know that they're there. Ooh, that doesn't look too bad. I think we're going to rock that out. Looks a little bit more complete. So we'll have to do the lighting in each of the corners for our pots. But we're going to do that here in the next 4 minutes because we're wrapping up. We're going to be wrapping up this episode now. Now, if I had put the sea lanterns in the roof right above the glass, I wouldn't even need to be adding in those 2 rows right there. So that's something that you would like to do. Go ahead and do it. Because I believe I'm going to do that off camera just so it matches what we have here in the back wall. That's just something I missed while I was doing the build. And it happens. It's going to happen to you at least a couple of times where you just you're working on something and you just miss it. I think we've only got one minor capture at the that we're going to pop over to at the very end of this, and then we're going to call it a day. Now you can see one last time I'm going to alter our sea lanterns. I'm just having them go around the center podium that we have. I think that's going to work a lot better than what I had going on here. I've kind of got like sea lanterns all over the place, and like it's just overkill. It's not really lighting up the room any more than it already is. And I think that the 4 that I have going around it, that's really all that we need. Anything more than this is just going to be overkill. And I think it lights up the room slightly better than what we had before. We're just going to do a little bit of detailing in the ceiling now, last minute stuff. The ceiling's a little bit bare. We can do just a little bit more with it, bring it together. Could have done full-on yellow pillars going across to give it like a ribbing effect like we've done with the other rooms. I wanted this one to be slightly different. Don't have to carry over your design cues to every single room, but you still want to tie them together a little bit. I think this room is really the only room on the ship that kind of has like its own design. I think every other room on the ship, a lot of the stuff carries over to it. But it's not a bad thing. I think it really works, and it helps when you step into this room that it just stands out. And it should. Like, it's supposed to be an uplifting room. I don't know if these red lines I'm adding are making it uplifting or not. That might be something that I might need to address. Maybe change the color of it. Blue might not even be a bad idea. But that could definitely be something. But at this point, I think I'm just splitting hairs, and that's apples and oranges, depending on what you want. But now we're going to do our lighting in each corner now, right above each crop of plants. And that's going to be one of the last things we do in today's episode. And that's going to wrap it up. I think we've only got one more thing to do after this. And that brightens it up just a little bit more, especially above the plants. It looks like, it's serving a function. Each plant is getting the lighting that they need. Okay, so I am going to do it in this episode. Cool. So we're going to replace our lighting right above our stained glass, just like it should be. Make it pop out just a little bit more. There we go. All right, we're going to hop into the last part of our episode now. We're going to make an alteration to the entrance here. It's just different than how I have it on the other room, so I just want to swap that out and make it consistent with how I have the other entryway points. And really, it's just a darker gray all the way around with a stained, or not the stained, with a sea lantern in the middle. But all right, I think that's going to wrap up episode 75. I just want to thank you very much again for tuning in to today's episode. And if you did enjoy today's content, please help me out by hitting that like button. And if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. I can't thank you enough for all the likes and subscriptions that I've gotten, and definitely motivates me to keep this channel going. And there's tons and tons of new content that I have planned coming out for everybody. Speaking of which, don't forget to tune in Tuesday for the first episode of the mock Enterprise D tutorial. It's going to be a 3-part or 4-part series, and I'm really excited to show everybody that. And you can always catch new Minecraft episodes Tuesdays through Fridays, and you can also catch my new Starship Evo builds on Mondays. Other than that, if you have any other questions regarding this build, if I'm not being specific enough, or if you get stuck, drop a comment below. I'll see what I can do to help you out. If there's any other ships or any other builds you would like to see me do, drop a comment below. But anyway, that's going to wrap it up for me. I hope everybody has a happy and safe weekend, and I will catch everybody on next week's video.